1, 2, 3.
Did you know in 2005 a glitch in World of Warcraft allowed a plague to spread in the game, leading non-infected players to abandon cities while the infected were forced into quarantines? It was later studied by scientists to see how in real life people would react to a pandemic. You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. For all the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos and opinions, make sure you visit TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello, welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 19. My name's Gareth Brady. I'm going to be your host, and today I am joined by, on my virtual left, Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
Oh,
hello.
not too bad.
Good.
Can't get rid of me. I'm always here.
I didn't say a word. You brought it up. to my virtual right is Mr. Richard Dobson. How you doing, Richard?
Hi there. Good to see you both.
Good to see you. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Rich.
Thank you. I'm the one that you can get rid of.
You're going to be here for the next couple of weeks, I think.
It looks
whether
like
you
it.
Like it or not. Now, Richard, James, have you had a good week? Have you had a brilliant week?
Brilliant, stretching it a bit. It's been a good week, though.
It's been windy. What have you done, James? Anything fun?
Well, I finally got to see Parasite. And it was everything I could have ever hoped for. It was a brilliant film.
Why is it brilliant?
Because it just has everything. It's got a bit of humour, loads of drama, but some really, really dark moments as well. And there's a theme to the story that, when you think about it, it's really realistic in some ways. And it's a good representation of the different classes in the world. Okay. And the social classes.
Okay. And without spoil, I mean, it's hard.
I know it's hard.
Can you tell me what it's about? Because I've got no idea what it's about. Because I've not seen it. Richard, you've seen it, haven't you?
I saw it as well this weck, yeah.
Can you say what it's about, or is it going to spoil everything? It's just like what's the tagline? What is it?
I think the name Parasite has put a lot of people off it because they hear that and they're like, oh, it must be some sort of horror film.
Yeah.
And that was a conversation I had with my mum. I was like, no, it's not a horror film. It's about a family that aren't doing too well financially, who sort of get in with a family that are doing better off. And I think the name Parasite comes from the fact that this first family are sort of living off this more wealthy family, but then this wealthy family can't pretty much cook for themselves. They can't function properly without the use of this other family, so they're living off them as well.
It goes both ways, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's well put, Richard.
I had in my head. I had something else. I had sort of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers type thing. Yeah. And does it deserve the Oscar for the writing and for the best film?
I think so. Don't know about you, Richard, but
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was brilliant. Yeah, I can see definitely why it was one of the best film of last year, without a doubt.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Good. Okay, Parasite. Yes. Okay, I have to see it. Richard, what about you?
As well as Parasite, I also got to see another film this week, which was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Good.
Oh, should that have won an Oscar?
I think it's just missed out.
I had high expectations.
It wasn't bad. Like I took my little cousin to see it as sort of an excuse,
right,
so that I wasn't the only bloke on my own in the film for it. But yeah, it was all right. Not got as much to say on it as Parasite.
What's the story on Sonic?
So Sonic is from a different planet, and he has to leave his home planet, and he sort of gets thrown onto Earth, but he's lived there for quite a while, and then something happens, and he gets sort of found out, and the government send in Dr. Robotnik to get him and capture him.
And that's it, is it? And that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need. The game
That's your plot right there.
The game didn't have much of a plot, did it? Really? I mean, that was
No.
It's got more. And does it have any kind of like game references in the film, or do they steer away from that? Or what about collecting rings? Is that in there?
The rings are what they use as portals to send Sonic in between different worlds.
Right.
And he always carries this bag of rings round with him.
Okay. Like a hoarder.
But other than that, I was a bit disappointed because it could have almost been written like any other animal from a different planet come to Earth.
Right.
It didn't really feel like a Sonic film, if that makes any sense.
Okay. I can't imagine a Sonic film, so this is they've done well straight away. And who's playing Dr. Robotnik or Eggman, whatever it's called?
Jim Carrey.
Ah.
He's good in it because it's almost like Jim Carrey of old.
Okay. 90s Jim Carrey.
Yeah, being completely over the top, but being Robotnik, it fits in a lot better.
Right. Oh, okay. So, you recommend to see this one? Do I rush out and get this?
If Parasite's not on anymore, then yeah.
What? Can you watch Parasite a second time instead?
Yes, I think
I would
maybe
do
watching
that.
it a second time would throw up some more twists and turns as well.
Yeah, I would do that instead.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like one of those films I'd watch on Netflix or Amazon 4 years down the line, a bit drunk. I think I'll watch Sonic now.
I'd love it. Then it would be deserving of an Oscar if that was the case.
Good. That's the recommendation. Now, this week, I'm going to get us onto games straight away before we talk about what we've been playing. But I've been pulled back into Football Manager for the first time in 6 years.
Oh.
And I got a deal. Someone offered me a deal. Not someone offered me a deal. A company offered a deal.
A football club?
Yeah.
Offered you a deal?
Yeah. I'm actually running the football club. And I got it really cheap, like for 14 quid or something. And I downloaded it and I had a go. Started on Monday. Oh my God. What have I done? Why have I gone back? I can't believe I spent 6 hours on pre-season. That was the worst bit.
That is the worst bit.
Yeah.
You can spend ages finding the right players and the right tactics. It's a nightmare.
And what happened, the usual Football Manager thing, is I lost I'm playing as Colchester, my team, and which is really hard because you have no money. It's just, it's depressing.
And no hope.
No hope. It's depressing. But you did it, and then they went, and I played the first 3 games of the season, and I drew 1 and lost 2. And then I thought, you know what? This is a good sign. I'll leave it now, And then I suddenly had an insight. It was like, what happens if I change the tactics? Win. I thought, I'm in it now. I'm in it to the end. To the end of my life. This is mad. Oh,
Sounds like a fruit machine.
it is a bit.
A Football Manager fruit machine.
It is. Yeah.
It's
And
addictive.
my partner Bernadette, she walked in and said, "What are you doing? What is this?" It's like spreadsheets. I went, "Yes, it is."
Did you have your suit on?
Yeah, I should have my suit on. Yeah.
Are you saving that?
I've saved that to the promotion day.
To the playoffs?
Yeah. Right, let's go on. Let's move on. We've got a game in the first 8 minutes. What about that? That's mad. It includes Sonic as well. That's
Half.
And no cycling.
And no cycling. Yeah. Okay, so every episode we do questions to our guests. I give them questions and I answer them, some of them as well, and I try to get an in-depth psychological profile of our guests. James is very scary, Richard's quite nice. So let's go
Thank you.
It could change.
It could change.
Depends what they are this week.
Yeah. Question number 1. You discover a beautiful island upon which you build your own society. So it's yours. You can do whatever you like. You make the rules. What's the first rule you put into place? And I'm going to go to Richard's first of all. Oh, it's a tricky one, isn't it?
It is.
So you've got this place. It's like a symbol. It's yours. It's a real place. You kind of maybe all your residents have turned up, all 20 of them, and you said, "Okay, rule number 1. What is it?"
And now, are we completely secluded off from the rest of the world?
Yeah, you're on your own. You can do whatever you like.
I would go with either I would ban all clothes, or I would say that no one owns anything. Everything belongs to everyone.
I mean, would they have clothes anyway?
Yeah, they have clothes on. So the first thing Richard's doing is going to get those clothes off.
Yeah.
And then say,
Where did you get your clothes from?
Well, they've just brought them with them. They built the society. They've come along.
Ah, right.
Richard's
And
just
just right down the road.
Suitcases in the sea.
Yeah, just get those clothes off, Richard. We're living free. We're living free on this island.
If it's just us 20, then there should be no shame.
I like that. That's good. I think you made 15 of them are gone already.
That profile's changing for you, Richard.
It is.
Separate the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah. James, what about you?
The first thing I thought of was just no killing.
No killing.
I
like that.
We don't need that.
No. It was the 20 of them there.
No, at least until it overpopulated.
Right.
When there's too many of us, then we'll do arena fights. But until then, we'll live in peace.
Good. I think I'm going to go for no religion. That's what I'm going to say to them. We can't have a religion. You can't stop worshipping that rock or that tree or me. Maybe me, but you can.
Yeah, maybe you.
Yeah,
That's
maybe me.
enough,
Yeah. Okay, good. That's question number one. Question number two. What is your guilty pleasure TV show? The thing you never want to admit to anyone else apart from all these people on the podcast. All 20 of them. Okay.
You go first.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think I'm going to admit to.
I'm going to go The Voice. Now, I don't watch hardly any terrestrial TV anymore because of Netflix and all that stuff. So the only thing I watch is The Voice. And I don't know what it is. I don't watch any other reality TV show. It's something I really like. And I have to watch that from January to April when it is. I kind of get bored about now because it goes into the next stage when it's like... But I like the auditions. I like that. I like that it's quite nice. It's a nice thing.
I watched that as well.
Oh, there you go.
But I think it's quite an upmarket X Factor.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not too bad. It could be worse.
They're not crying. Well, there is crying, but there's not like people going, "You're an idiot."
There's not as many sad stories either.
No,
a few. But
They
don't milk it.
Yeah, it's good. That's my guilty pleasure. What about you, James?
I mean, I think it was The King and the Masked Singer.
Ah, yeah, the one you talked about last week.
Yeah, because it's utterly terrible.
Yeah.
I do watch some terrible stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard to narrow it down. Come back to me.
Come back to you. What about Richard?
I'm struggling as well. Could I do I know my guilty pleasure film.
If I go
can
and do
offer
that.
Instead.
Please, yeah.
So that one is Bend It Like Beckham.
I've seen that once. And I do. Why?
One too many.
Why do you think that's a good one?
I absolutely love that film. I don't know why. I watched it. It was on over Christmas, and I made Laura sit down and watch it. She'd not seen it before. It's just everything about that film just makes me smile.
And how many times have you seen it?
Oh, I'm at the point where I know most of the words.
I never would have thought that at all. And who's the lead actress in it?
Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley, yeah. Wow. Bend It Like Beckham, that's a good one. That's better. What about you, James? Have you thought about your guilty?
Well, if it's a film, it's quite easy.
Go on.
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect.
That's a good film as well.
Cracking film.
That's
I could watch that over and over again.
Good.
And I have done.
Yeah.
And I will do again.
Good.
Maybe after this.
Great.
Anyone want to pop round? Have a sing song?
Feedback, yeah.
No,
I'll be there.
Nice one.
Right, question.
Ben like Beckham.
Question 3, and this kind of leads on a little bit. If you were given the opportunity to create your own half-an-hour TV show, what would the premise be? And maybe what would it be called? So you could do half an hour anything you want. What kind of thing would you like to see? Richard. It's a hard one.
Oh, it is a hard one.
It is one.
Because then I'd be thinking, like, oh, can I bring back an old TV show that I really like?
Well, you could, but you got to make it new and think. Should I start?
Yes, please.
Dog Detectives. So it's not animated. right? It's real dogs, and they're sort of mouse. You know, like you see those apps that make their mouse moves, yeah. And they talk. They talk with real. It's quite serious, but we've got them on, and they're trying to solve dog crimes. Half an hour, quite serious.
Sounds like something Alan Partridge would come up with.
Well, I think it's good. I think it's going to be on next year. Dog detectives.
Can I choose monkey tennis?
No, you can't choose monkey tennis. James or Richard, which one? Have you both got one? Oh, it's hard, isn't it?
It is. I think I've got one.
Go on in, Richard.
So there was an old program called The Mole a long, long time ago.
Right.
And it was about a group of people that were all trying to win prizes by doing these challenges. But one of the people that was part of this group was working on the inside, and he was trying to sabotage them. So it was, how do I describe it? Almost like Fort Boyard.
Oh, yeah.
But week by week, one of them got voted out. But one person in this group was the mole, basically.
Right. So how would you make this different?
Put them on a desert island, like the first question.
Okay.
And they're just trying to survive, but there's this one guy that has a little secret shack that's full of food on an evening, so he's not struggling for hunger and everything else that they're all struggling for.
Do you know what, Richard? I can see that one getting bought up. That's a pretty good idea.
Everyone's on the 5 scene.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Well, the Mole was originally on Channel 5, so they've got previous there.
Oh, wow. Get that right. That's copyright. That's copyrighted by Richard. Channel 5.
TM.
Channel 5 and want to get hold of him. You can get hold of his Twitter at the end. James, have you ever thought? It's a hard one.
I mean, I wouldn't mind like a Big Brother crossover with wrestling. So like you all live in a house together.
Yeah.
But at the end of each week, you've got to wrestle someone to stay in the house.
See, I love that as well.
And you get voted off or voted to stay in based on your performance and your mic work. You know your
the banter stuff and all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, I like that a lot. So wrestling Big Brother, I really like that. That's going to be bought as well.
Again, Channel 5 probably.
Channel 5, yeah. So if Channel 5 are listening, you've got Dog Detectives, Big Brother Wrestling, and Mole on an Island.
You can have Dog Detective, but you're going to have to pay me and Richard. You want the other two.
Yeah.
Dog Detective's on at 7:30. I think mine will be on at 8 o'clock, and James's will be on at 9 o'clock.
Wow, prime time.
I don't know, Dog Detective sounds like an afternoon thing. They can just get rid of whenever they want.
Up alongside Pet Rescue.
One of those things you watch when you're ill. Bit poorly.
Just after neighbours.
Yeah.
Dog Detective Omnibus.
Right, good. Quickly, before we move on, would you rather question. So, Richard, you're first. Would you rather be compelled to high-five everyone you meet or be compelled to give wedgies to anyone in the green shirt?
It'd have to be the wedges.
Oh, that's going to get you in trouble. There's a lot of green shirts.
But I'm thinking I don't want to just go around high-fiving people because that's not me. But neither's giving people wedges, but at least then I have an excuse to run away as fast as I can.
Okay, good. Would you rather live in a cave or live in a tree house?
Treehouse.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice. Would you rather live without the internet or live without air conditioning and heating?
The second one. Air conditioning and heating.
You'd rather live without those?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how I rule my roost anyway.
You'll be freezing or hot. You have the internet.
Put an extra jumper on.
Or take your clothes off, as your mantra is, if it's too hot.
And there's not enough people in the world doing that, so that's what I'm running for.
Good, I like it. Right, James, here's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather live for the next 10 years of your life in China or Russia?
Oh, China.
Oh, okay, good.
Bit cold in Russia.
Oh, yeah, all right, yeah.
I don't know what the heating's like.
Some of China's
it's not
quite
any
cold.
Good. I suppose.
Would you rather be lost in a bad part of town or lost in a forest?
Ooh, a forest.
Yeah, I think
So I might meet some talking animals, and they can get me home.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with that. Would you rather it never stops snowing or it never stops raining?
It was up snowing.
Straight away, but it's going to be pretty cold after a while.
But it'll be like Christmas every day.
Okay, good.
And that's all we want in this
Good.
world.
Good, very good. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I've got those in the file. Right, what games have you been playing? Let's start with Richard.
So I've been back on the Division 2 a bit this week. With the announcement of the Warlords of New York expansion. I think it was last week.
Yeah.
So basically the new expansion is taking players back to New York. But I finished the main campaign when it launched.
Yeah.
But then there was the whole end game where you had to get from World Tier 1 to World Tier 5 by replaying a lot of the missions and getting your gear score up. So that's what I've been doing this week. But I've also spent a lot of time in the Dark Zone because I sort of neglected that when I first played it. And I absolutely love the Dark Zone in the Division games. I just think it's, as a multiplayer mode, it's just so tense all the time. And I don't think there's anything else like it. I think with the first one, when they originally brought it out in the first game, it was good, but it sort of got overran quite quickly by higher level players. But they seem to, I think they've normalized stats in the second game, and it just feels so tense at all times. There's nothing else like it.
Oh, do you know what? You make me. I want to go back in. Me and James have played it together. We said before we've got to go back in. I mean, there's nothing else coming out for the next 6 months, so we might as well.
Please do, because I'm going to get that expansion straight away. So I'll be desperate for some players to help.
Let's do that. And what's the New York thing? So you've got to get to a certain place before you can go to the New York one.
I don't think you do actually. I'm just doing the sort of end game stuff to sort of get me back into it.
Okay.
But I think if you buy the expansion, you get a level 30 boost for a character anyway.
Okay.
So I think the new stuff's going to increase the level cap to 40, so it shouldn't affect the gear score and stuff like that anyway.
But there's been some other DLC stuff that we haven't played yet as well, hasn't there? There's been a couple of other...
Yeah. But I think you do need to be World Tier 5, so like finished the end game for them as well.
Okay. Well,
I've not done them yet either.
We'll see in a year.
Yeah. Oh, I want to get back. Oh, that's exciting. Good. James?
Well, it's slightly more exciting than the Division.
Yeah, go on.
I'll warn you now.
Yeah.
It's bunny parking.
Good.
I know you've all heard of it and you're all playing it.
Yes.
But just in case you're not, it's a puzzle game. You know, the old Rush Hour sliding block puzzle game back in the day, when you move cars around.
Oh yeah.
Get a car out.
Oh, I see. Like one of those. Like a little wooden puzzle.
There's wooden ones as well. Yeah. Well, it's that, but in 3D form, and you kick the cars with a bunny. And that's the game in a nutshell. For over 300 levels.
300 levels.
It sounds like another Channel 5 pitch.
Yeah.
But it gets worse though.
Yeah.
Because when you're kicking the cars, it will decide if it wants to count it as a kick or not. You could be kicking it and it won't even move to get out of the way. It's a bit of a poorly made game, to be fair.
Right.
I did a full review of it, if anyone wants to read how bad it is. I gave it a 2 out of 5, which is the lowest I've given this year.
Wow.
And probably in the past year. In total, it's the lowest I've given. There's just not enough to it.
No.
And what there is there doesn't really work very well.
There's 300 levels, though.
Yeah, and you can free roam outside of it.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Is it an open world?
Yeah. You can go see a bunny cult.
Wow.
You can meet some bunny farmers. I don't know why, but you can.
I think you've marked this too harshly.
And
It sounds
bunny
quite
cult could give it an extra half a star. Couldn't it?
Yeah. Wow. So, Bunny, when's that out? Is it out now?
It's already out, and it's only £4.
Oh, come on.
It's still not worth it.
Oh.
Okay, $4.99.
Right.
$4.99. Yeah, it's not great.
I've been playing a game called, I can't pronounce this, Draugen. It's Dragoon's a kind of Norwegian. What's the word? Scandinavian. Let's say that.
Norwegian.
Norwegian word for it's like a ghoul. It's basically fishermen who are lost at sea. They would come back, and there would be these huge, monstrous figures dressed in like seaweed, and there would be like ghouls that would haunt places. That's what it's
monster.
Yeah, kind of, but sea-ish. Yeah, and but you play set in the 1920s, and you play Edward, who's just kind of like who's looking for his sister in this Norwegian I can't say it. Norwegian village near a fjord, and he's there with his kind of like a ward called Lizzie, 17 Lizzie, and they both go exploring this place. And it's a typical kind of walk-in. I'm not going to say walk-in sim. I hate saying that, but it's a kind of walk-in sim and action adventure. There isn't combat. There isn't really that much puzzling. You're kind of going around and trying to find the clues. It's like I described it as like a storybook adventure. It's like reading a great sort of short story over kind of 3 or 4 hours, and it's the writing's great, the voiceover's great. It looks beautiful. It reminded me of that kind of BioShock, the last BioShock. What's the last one called? BioShock Infinite, I think.
Infinite.
Yeah, it really reminded me of that kind of visual look. And it's it's a lovely game. It's a really nice game. I think it's out tomorrow. Well, it might be out today if it's Friday. You're listening to this. The embargo went on the 19th. I just checked in my head. Yeah, so I can talk about it. But yeah, it's really good. I mean, some people might go who want more in a game. Want to go off the path or want some combat or some fighting or whatever. Bunny parking. You won't be getting that from this. You would be. It's a game that I like. You're following a story. You're kind of trying to work stuff out. Ooh, that was a nice little noise. And then that's it. But yeah, Draugen out tomorrow. I think it's about 15 quid. Play it.
So it's better than bunny parking.
It is better than that. I think I gave it 4 stars out of 5. Richard, you got another one?
Yeah. So more recent game is called DCL, the game, which I believe stands for Drone Champions League. So this is drone racing.
Oh.
And yeah, it's an unusual game, even though it's about drone racing, because there's such a massive emphasis in this game that there's different ways to control your drone, and one of them is like having an actual drone remote in your hand, the way that the thumbsticks work. And there's a massive emphasis then on training people up to be drone pilots, and you can register in this game and do an event, and based on how well you do, you might get called up and drafted by one of the teams.
What?
Yeah.
So it's like however good you play this game, they might go, we need Richard to be a drone pilot.
Yep.
Have you had that call?
No, I've tried that. I think there's 4 different modes to control a drone. I've tried the hardest one and I got lost.
Right.
But there's the easiest one's called arcade mode, which means the game controls the pitch of where the drone's going. So you've just got to go fast and then make sure you turn the corners at the right time.
Okay.
Which is difficult enough as it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. On the home screen for this game, there's just links to signing up and everything. It's like a drone simulator, very much.
And it's tricky. It can be on hard level. It's a tricky thing to do.
Oh, because there's no. So on the arcade handling, right trigger is your throttle basically, like a standard driving game. But then when you go into the hardest mode, I think it's called Arco. I'm not sure why, but it's just your 2 thumbsticks control your speed, your pitch, your turn and everything, and it's difficult.
Wow. Good. I kind of want to play it now. I want to have a chance to be a drone driver. A drone driver. I got it wrong straight away. Pilot. That's what I meant to
Yes,
say.
there's even a countdown on the home screen to say how long there's left to register and everything like that. They're really
cool
going
concept.
for it. Yeah.
Is it a good game though?
It's not bad. I think I'm obviously nowhere near good enough to even attempt anything like that, but there is still plenty of tracks and events to have a go at. But it uses a similar system to, Forza's Drivatar.
Okay, yeah.
So there's no AI competitors. Basically, you're always racing against ghosts of other people.
Right. And is there multiplayer?
Yes, online. I don't think there's local, but there's definitely online.
Okay. Wow. Because I think we said this last week. We talked about it briefly. We said about the only worry is that it's used in games, but it's always like a side mission, like in Watch Dogs or something, isn't it? But it's this full kind of like, is the map? Do they look good? The maps? Do they?
They don't look bad. I mean, you're going very fast.
Yeah.
Too fast to sort of take it all in. But in terms of what they've done with the different handling modes, there's. I mean, obviously, I don't know how well it controls to an actual racing drone, but it seems to be like the next best thing from what I've gathered.
Wow. Okay. Good. Well, that's another one. Now, James, you haven't got another game, have you?
I have, but it's top secret.
Oh, can you?
So I can't tell you.
You can't say it. Okay, brilliant. We'll hear that next week.
Sorry.
I got the last thing we'd do is I got on the PS4. I got Dreams this weekend. I thought I'd buy myself Dreams. And Dreams, for people who don't know, is a game on the PS4 made by the people who did. Oh, what's it called? My Little Hero. I was going to call it My Little Hero. What's it called?
Little Planet.
Little Planet. Oh. My Little Hero. What the hell's that? And in this game, you basically, it's a tool for creating your own games. You can do whatever you like. So it gives you the tools, gives you a little campaign, how to do it, and then people make their own games and they put them up there, and you can go on there through the kind of a whole library of them, what people have made. You can go in there and play them and comment on them, and there's a whole community there that are quite nice, really nice people. And I was really intrigued by it. And the games that people have made are great. I played one when you play this artist, which I really liked, who's been rejected by all the art. So all you do is get a big mallet and go into an art gallery and smash it up. And you've got to keep out of the way of members of the public who are going, "What are you doing?" or curators.
It sounds very cathartic.
Yeah, it was really good fun. You have a kind of time. I really enjoyed that. And but then I'm having trouble getting past the tutorial.
No change there, huh?
So I don't think I'll be making games, which was my thought first of all.
But it's a good job everyone else can make them for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you don't need to have created your own game before you can play others then?
No, you can go straight into
All
play others.
Because that was the one thing I was worried about.
Yeah. No, you don't. You can go straight in. It's something I'm going to go to the end of it. I will get to the end of it and try to create something. Yeah. And maybe you two can play it. Yeah, you two can come and play it.
I'm not going to play it, but you can show us.
Oh, play it. Play my game.
I've been interested.
Dog Detectives, the game.
Never.
Yeah, Dreams. It's interesting. It's really interesting. I quite like to see. It's got, it's developed quite a big fan base, really. And there's lots of videos now of like people creating real games like Spyro or Red Dead or something like that. And I don't understand that. Create something new. Don't just replay and I'll try to do Spyro again. I'm not interested.
Yeah, live in the now.
Yeah.
Get the past.
Yeah, exactly.
It's done.
Now, news this week. It's still really quiet, isn't it? I mean, there's nothing going on, is there, that much? There's lots of rumours. So it's a bit of a quiet time. But Richard, what's caught your eye?
It's not necessarily Xbox related,
Okay.
but there was an app a couple of years ago called HQ Trivia. I don't know if you guys had heard of it.
See, I don't know this at all.
No, me neither.
So HQ Trivia was, I think 2 or 3 times a day, it would send a notification out saying that it was going live, and you went into this app and there was a quiz. It was a live quiz app with a live presenter. I think there was 10 or 12 questions that you had to get right, and if you got them all right, you got a share of the money that was on offer for each quiz.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
And I think it was created by the two guys that created Vine, whose names were Ruz Yusupov and Colin Kroll. When they quit Vine, they basically set up this new app called HQ. Got a lot of investment into it. I think by the end of it, they'd given away over $6 million in prize money in the space of about 2.5 years. But yeah, anyway, so this app this week announced it was closing. There'd been a lot of stuff in the background. So one of the guys, Colin Kroll, was found dead last year. So that only left one of the founders, who I believe sacked one of the presenters, but one of the presenters that everyone really liked. So the rest of the team behind the HQ, I think there was about 25 employees at its highest point, basically tried to oust him from the CEO position and all this other stuff in the background.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were all my group of friends were all playing along and enjoying it, whilst basically all this stuff was going on in the background. But it ran out of investments because I don't think those that had put the money into it were seeing any revenue. and I mean, it was big at one point. There was the Rock hosted a quiz on it one time.
Wow.
In conjunction with Rampage when that came out. I think it was to promote that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a really big deal, and it closed this week. But the day after it closed, the one remaining creator said he'd got an investment, so he said it's going to live on. So at the moment, who knows what's happening with it?
Wow. What a story. I kind of love that. So the guy who died, he just died? He didn't die mysteriously on the.
It was an apparent drug overdose. So
Wow.
yeah,
I'm fascinated by this.
You just never know what's going on, do you? Behind the scenes.
And is it because they were losing money because they were just giving away too much money?
well, that was the thing that when it first came out, me and my friends were like, "But this is so good," but there was no adverts or anything like that on this app, which you would have expected to bring in some revenue, but they were just giving away this money, and it sometimes, I think the highest they gave away was about $300,000 on one quiz, but there was so they'd let people know in advance that this one was happening. So I think there was a few million players,
Right.
and then obviously there'll be lots of winners. So the £300,000 got shared out by a lot of people.
But you don't have to pay any. Do you have to pay anything to join?
No, you didn't have to pay anything. I think they did bring in microtransactions later on, but when we first started, there was no payment, no ads or anything in it, and they were just giving away this money in these quizzes, and we're like, how can this keep going? Because we didn't see them as getting anything back from it.
Yeah. And did you win anything?
No, of course not. we used to play it as a group if we were all around at someone's house or something, and each question was out of 3. So you would, if there was one we were stuck on, we'd like, right, you guys go for one answer, and we'd play it that way. But we never got anywhere.
Wow. And did you have a sort of like select time to answer? So could you be looking online when they answer the question?
No, I think you had 10 seconds to answer, and the way that they'd ask the questions, it wasn't something that you could then quickly search online to find.
Clever. Oh God, I really want to do this now.
Well, like I say, apparently it's coming back.
It's coming back. Okay, good. I'll keep an eye out. James, what have you seen in this quiet time?
Well, there's always time for Game Pass.
What's coming out now?
Well, there's 6 games in the pipeline.
Yep.
The first one is today, actually. Well, at the time of recording, it's today. As Ninja Gaiden 2.
Great.
Not the best one that's involved.
On the 360 version, yeah.
But Kingdom Hearts 3 is joining on Tuesday.
You reviewed that, didn't you, Richard?
I did.
Is it worth me ever doing it? I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game. Should I have a go?
Well, because this week as well, they've released all the other Kingdom Hearts games, haven't they, on the Xbox? But I would I would not start with 3.
Okay.
No.
All right. Fair enough. Right.
There's 2 Point Hospital next week.
Good. Great.
That's a sim game.
Yeah.
So I know they're up your street.
Yeah.
You might like it. You never know.
That. Yeah.
Wasteland, the original, which remastered.
I feel like you're missing a big one, James.
No, that's it, I think.
Nah, I feel like you're missing a big one.
Yakuza.
There we go.
On Wednesday.
Wow.
I know you'll be very excited for that.
This Yakuza game that I've never played as well, is this the first one, or is it a new game in the franchise, or is it an old one?
This one that's coming out on Wednesday is a prequel, which it's a prequel to all the ones that have been out before, but it's the first one arriving on Xbox. So it makes sense that would be the starting point, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm going to give that a go. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah. Any more, James?
There's one for anyone that's hosting a party with the Jackbox Party Pack number 3.
Good. I like you saying that. Everyone is hosting a party. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I know you often host gaming parties, Gareth.
Yes.
So you get all your friends round.
I did. I love that.
Down.
Yeah.
You can design T-shirts and play a trivia murder game.
I could get them to play my Dreams game. My new Dreams game that hopefully I will make by then.
You might put them to sleep.
That isn't just a block hovering mid-screen at the moment. That's all I've got. Good. Games Pass. Good. Thank you very much, James. Now, last week I went to a showcase of new games coming out this year. And last week we had an interview with one of the developers for... I've forgotten the name of the game. What was it, James? Can you remember?
Falconeer.
That's the one now. What was the one last week?
Sorry. Those Who Remain.
Those Who Remain, which is...
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah. No. And this time is a game called The Falconeer. And I spoke to the lead developer. And let's have a listen.
I'm Thomas Sala. I'm the developer of The Falconeer. It's a solo developed game, so I'm the programmer, the artist, the animator, everything except audio and music. That's done by Benedict Nichols, who's a talented composer, and I'm assisted by Wired Productions, who are publishing it.
So if you had to do, which I always hate asking, the pitch for the game, what is the pitch for the game?
It's an open world fantasy air combat game. So you fly around, much like games like Freelancer or any open world space game, basically. You do missions, you improve your guns and stuff, but this time you're on the top of a giant warbird in a fantasy-esque setting. Actually more a steampunk, hard fantasy setting. The terms doesn't really matter. And you fly around in this world, and you're like a mercenary, basically.
And so it's a fight. It's a flying game.
It's a flying game, but it's focused on air combat, like dog fighting. So it's not flying around and how do you call it? It's not a knowledge game. Is a term I learned. It's not flying around discovering secrets. It is that as well. It's an open world, but that's lots of combat and.
Which is very unique, isn't it? Because there isn't that many games.
I think, well, the people that online people are going on about Panzer Dragoon or Draugen, if they're a little bit older like me, or Crimson Skies. It's certainly in that genre of arcadey flight combat games with fantastical creatures.
So you talk about the RPG element. So is there a campaign?
There's. I've got it up. There's actually. I'm doing something a little bit different from a storytelling perspective. There's actually 5 smaller campaigns that each tell a facet of the big story, more or less like StarCraft has done it in the past. So you change factions. So first you're fighting the Imperials, and then you might join them next on and discover the part of the story from their perspective. So there's no, there's bad guys, but everybody's a little bit, how do you call it, tainted in this world. So everybody has their motivations and reasons why they think they're right, and you'll get to experience those in the different campaigns.
So you can play through the campaign, but can you just go and...
Oh, well, you play through the campaign, but the campaign is part of an open world. So you'll start at one location, say like one of the Manser, which is one of the faction locations, and that'll be your home base, basically, and you can do their storyline, or you can just set off There's side missions. There's procedural missions. You can go somewhere, do bounties, improve your bird, discover your own sequence, which are just, and treasure, which are throughout the world, like in any open world game. You can't really wander into the enemy territory, or you can actually, but you'll be shot to hell because it'll be defended properly. So in that sense, you can do whatever you want like an RPG, and there is storyline to discover besides those campaigns. But the true meat is, of course, it's a linear first-person storyline in the campaign. Or linear isn't the right word, but it's a logical progression.
What I'm fascinated with, because like you said, you're a one-man band. You've done
Yeah.
it. So what happened first? Did you come up with the mechanic first? Did you come up with the story, the world building? You've done all that.
Well, then you dive. So I've been at this for a couple of years, and I'm an old hand in the game industry, and I've done lots of things from mobile to we've worked for, done exclusive for Sony PlayStation VR, stuff like that. But my real turn where I started doing stuff for myself was doing mods, and I did Moonpath to Elsewhere mod for Skyrim, which was a really popular mod. After that, I started my own indie game called Oberon Scored, and that was and then I started that textureless thing style in that 8 years ago, I don't know, 2013, 14. That's 6 years ago. And doing that, and that was a strategy game. It was way too much for one person. I was still working full time, so that didn't pan out. And what left me a lot of assets from a sort of dark fantasy world, including the model of a dragon. And then after a while, the itch was back, and I wanted to make my own game again. And I thought, okay, this time I need to find a genre that has attractive gameplay, so that because the problem when you do something by yourself is you make something and then the gameplay might not be great, and you go, I just need to improve it, and it'll become great. That you can do with a team. If you're making a strategy game, it takes a year before you have the strategy system, and then you can see, is it great? What type of missions make it great? What are the goals? So that then you can deal with the unknowns. But by yourself, you have to keep yourself motivated. So I needed a game that was always fun. If I picked it up, I could feel it was nice. So that's advice people always get, is make something that starts to feel, has that Fingerspitzengefühl, how do you call it? I'm not the German, but it's a German word. This, finger feel, when something feels right. Yeah. So I made a flying game because that's what I liked as a kid. When I was young, I played TIE Fighter and Red Baron and Chuck Yeager Air Combat on a CGA system, I think, or back in the days, really old. And I love that, just flying around and then shooting stuff. Because I'm a AAA kind of sensibility. I like exploding set pieces and things that are polished, and I like me a bit of violence. So that all had to be in there. So it had to be. I was flying around, and I had this dragon. So I put this dragon in the world, flying around. I thought, this is kind of nice. And then I had a second thought. Well, but dragons already been done. Dragon and Pets Dragoon, and dragons are sort of like I said. I don't want to do what's been done before. So I modeled a guy on a bird.
And we got the.
I gave him a gun, and then I went. All right, and it was special immediately. It just worked, and so I've been playing it because I develop it, and then at night I test it because you have very little spare time, and it's always been fun. It's always enjoyable. It's always the flying is nice, and then the shooting is nice, and then at some point you can start telling stories because you've got something that retains its enjoyment.
And the stories come from you having created this kind of mechanic.
Well, the stories are I enjoy making environments. If people go back and play that mod I made, it's about the environments, not particularly good at many other things, but it was the first mod that had like jungle environments. I like taking people places.
Do you prefer being on your own after working in these huge big teams? It's a very interesting thing. It's almost going back to that old school of.
I prefer this a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. So it's some people mention that I'm not very typical high injury type guy. That doesn't always make it easy to work in big teams because someone will go. We'll need to do this and focus at this for this week, or if you're a team leader, you need to make a schedule and then make sure everybody's the schedule. And I go, let's make this, and then, let's make that. So I am I'm a loose cannon in a team. So in the end, I'm a little bit older. I've seen the highs and lows that can bring. And I've always been working on myself. And it's where I have the least amount of stress and least amount of distractions. And I can just do what I want. And with the Falconeer, the opportunity was there. And it was like, yeah, this is good. So, I dialed back all the other activities. It is now full-time doing this for the last couple of years. And it just works for me. It's. I don't think it will work for anybody else. But it's also the time for, I think we're living in a time where indie game development has brought a lot. And now technology has caught up that there's like a bunch of micro teams, just one guy or two guys or two girls or whatever, who are making amazingly polished, high quality games. They're going way beyond what we think indie games are. I think that's, it's like the perfect, how do you call it, point in history for that to happen. So there's, and that's one of those guys.
And so where are we now with the game? When are we looking at launch?
When it's done, it's done, but it's coming in 2020. So I've been around long enough for strict deadlines. I can't say precisely yet, so we're working on that. Development-wise, you've seen the build. It's the mechanics are quite advanced. I've wrapped up nearly all the combat, excluding bugs. Mechanics, so I can do everything I want. I've got all the enemies. I've got 20 plus different types of enemies in there now, ranging from ships, battleships, to giant crab fortresses, to flying eels, and lots of birds and stuff, weird stuff. That's all there, and I'm now telling the stories and creating the missions. So that's the phase I am at, and that can go. It's both fast and not fast. The development's picking up in speed because all the tools are there, but then you want to have voice acting. I want to have voice acting, so I want to have good writing. So that's where it's at right now.
And what are you looking to release on?
So it's an Xbox exclusive. I've heard before that's now called an Xbox first game. So it's coming out on Xbox first and on PC.
Brilliant.
So.
Thank you so much. It's
no problem.
Really intriguing. I really like a lot of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
There he is. There's Thomas. What do you think?
I like that.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. Yeah.
It had me I like me violence. I think that was it's definitely a good game. Whatever it turns out like, I'm buying it now. Just for that one quote. I like me some violence.
As I said, he's really interesting. He's such an interesting guy because he's a one-man band, really.
Definitely.
And I think that's the way he's liked to work. He's obviously worked with big studios before, and he likes doing it all himself. And I think he's really passionate about it. And I worry that maybe there's quite a lot to do still, which he says himself. But I think he'll get that done, and I think it's interesting.
I think the fact that he's on his own means he can take his time. As long as he needs, he can take it. Whereas if he was in the team, you'd think they're going to have to rush it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
so when he was saying it was someone perched on top of a bird, I couldn't process the imagery, so I had a look, and I think the overall aesthetic of it looks amazing as well. Looks like a very almost calming experience, despite there being a bit of violence in it.
Yeah, I mean,
just being able to fly around.
I mean, it's you don't really get. I mean, it's very unique in that sense. It uses that dogfighting bit of gameplay, but the actual RPG elements and, like you said, the kind of calm and the beautiful locations. It's really interesting and really there's a lot to do there and a lot to explore and a lot of secrets and a whole world he's built, which is really exciting.
How much did you get to see of it? Did you get to see any of the enemies?
I got to see like a big mission, knock it off, and I saw a boss battle as well.
Oh, what was the boss like?
Boss was good, but boss was it was like a, I don't know how much I can say. It was like it was huge.
Was it tough?
Yeah.
Tough to say down.
Yeah, I think it was so tough that
Proper
he
boss
went,
battle.
I think I've got you to the wrong place here. It should be a bit later on, as I was like spinning around. But yeah, he was. That was really exciting, and the characters look really great as well, and the bits of what he's hoping to add to it as well. And I saw a secret area that was beautiful. So yeah, it's really exciting. Anything else you want to ask you two?
Is the boss like massive so that you're flying around it? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's like you have to, like you're flying around it. You have to go in and attack, and then and then fly away, defend.
Yeah.
It's like it's going and take it down after a while. I mean, I think I'm the worst person to play it because I always have trouble with those kind of flying bits in games.
Yeah, just those. Yeah,
just those.
Yeah.
Every other game I'm perfect at. But I think other people who love that they're going to have the time of their lives, I think, with this. Yeah. There we go. I think anything else?
I think it'll come to Game Pass. It was an Xbox exclusive.
It's an Xbox first. That's what they kept saying to me. It's a different thing. So it's like a first. I think it's a new terminology. So it's Xbox first. I think
it'd do well to come on Game Pass first.
I think it must do, mustn't it? It must go on Game Pass.
Give it a wider audience.
Yeah. I think there'd be anything else. Yeah, definitely should look for it. He's a lovely guy.
Really good.
Lovely guy. Right, let's go on to the quiz. Now, Richard's here, so we've got a quiz at last. Because we can't do quiz. Yes. Tell us, Richard. Over to you.
So, as I did a quiz last time, it was around Christmas time. So when I got invited back on this time, I had a look at see what events are happening. And on Tuesday, if you're not aware, it's Pancake Day.
Oh.
So I've devised a gaming / pancake quiz. Not that video games and pancakes go well together at all, but
we'll find out.
Yes, one way or the other. So same as last time. There's going to be 20 questions. Buzzing in.
Okay.
But I need to hear your buzzers again.
James, what was yours? I can't remember my one.
One went high, one went low. That's all I can remember.
Ooh, was it?
That was yours. Yeah, that was yours.
I'll go for that.
And mine was... Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Good.
So yeah, there's going to be a couple.
Richard, just before you start, who won the last one? Just to remember.
See, I was thinking about this earlier, and I couldn't remember. But now that you've asked me, I think it might be you.
Yeah. It's time for revenge.
Good. Here we go. Right.
So I've had my guinea pig test through this again today, and he says it's a little bit harder than last time.
Oh no.
So hopefully not too hard. But yeah, it's going to be buzz in. There's going to be a couple that I'll let you know beforehand where you'd both need to answer. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so let's go straight into it. I'm just going to get my piece of paper. Okay, so the first 10 questions are video game questions.
Oh.
So question number 1 is an odd one out. You've got Psycho, Pulse, Fury, and Jet. I want to know which one's the odd one out. Gareth?
Pulse.
Yes. Do you know why?
No, I guessed.
Unbelievable. I'll try to work it out and everything.
Tell us why, Richard.
It is Pulse because the others are drugs in Fallout.
Ah, that's a good one.
I would have never worked it out anyway.
Good.
Good guess.
Very good guess.
Question number 2. What is the name of the country where the Fable games are predominantly set? Gareth again.
Is it Albion?
It is. Well done.
Oh.
Not a good start. I feel like I've not played enough games in my life.
We know this.
It's all catching up with me now.
Don't worry, there is a FIFA question coming up.
Oh, here we go.
Get in.
Question number 3. Which series features Dante and Nero as playable characters?
Ooh.
James?
Is it Devil May Cry?
It is.
Well
done.
James.
Get in.
Question number 4. In which year did Final Fantasy, Skyrim, and Viva Pinata cause uproar in the Classic FM Hall of Fame? Gareth?
2009?
No.
Oh.
James?
2010.
Close. It was 2013.
Oh, do I get a point?
No.
That was close.
No.
Not on that one. There is one
Alright,
where
alright.
I'll need you to be.
Fair enough.
One will get the point for being closer, but
Great.
I don't want to spoil it for you. Question number 5. Who holds the record for the most appearances as FIFA cover star? Gareth?
Is it Ronaldinho?
No.
Oh, damn.
James?
Is it Rooney?
It is. Well done.
Oh, well done. That was
On it every year from 06 to 12.
Boom.
What's the score now, Richard?
After 5 questions, it's 2-all.
Oh,
This is fun.
tense.
This is good.
Question number 6. Which popular game show and Xbox 360 game featured live hosts during 2-hour shows on Tuesday and Friday?
Woo.
James?
Is it 1 versus 100?
Well done, it is.
Well done. I couldn't think of the name of it. I was
Love
thinking,
that game.
I thought it was 15-1. I love that game as well.
It was great. I won something on that,
Ah, nice.
but it never arrived.
No, and it didn't arrive to a friend of mine
Ah.
who won it on with there, and he's never came as well.
It's
No.
not fair, is it?
Yeah.
I want a copy of Carcassonne, and it never came.
I don't think you missed out too much there. I think it's like £2 now. We'll chip in and value it,
I've
Richard.
still never got it. I think by spite, I refuse to buy it now.
Fair enough.
Question number 7. Which RPG featured the infamous Horse Armor DLC? Gareth?
It was Elder Scrolls, not Skyrim, the first one. Elder Scrolls.
Time's up.
Oh, what was it?
Can I guess?
James, yeah, go in and...
Is it Elder Scrolls Oblivion?
It is. Well
Oh,
done.
Damn, Oblivion.
I knew that. I really knew that as well.
I'm gutted.
Thanks, Gareth.
Jesus.
Question
Sure.
8. So last time we did a quiz, it was before the last Game Awards. So I asked you who won the 2018 one. But question 8 is who won Game of the Year at the Game Awards 2019? James?
Is it Control?
No.
I know it.
Gareth?
God of War?
No. It was Sekiro.
Ah, yes. I've got it the year before, and yeah.
Sorry.
Question 9. What year did the Steam platform release?
2005.
Ooh, very, very close. James?
2004.
2003.
Oh,
I suppose.
It's a lot older than I realised,
Yeah.
though. When I
Probably quite long.
and the last video game, well, I say last, but who composed the main theme for Skylanders Spyro's Adventure? Gareth?
Hans Zimmer.
Well done. Yep.
No.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow, that's a guess. Wow, good.
I was going to say Bono. So I don't know.
Nice.
So that's the video game section done. Do you want a score now?
Yes,
or-
please. Yeah.
Okay. So James has got 4 and Gareth's got 3.
Oh.
Can't read.
The next 10 questions are all dedicated to pancakes. You'll be pleased to know.
Yeah.
2 of them are also gaming and pancake related.
Good. The best kind.
Yeah, but you'll start to realise that I suddenly ran out of ideas with this quiz. Question 11.
Yep.
In a 2017 YouGov poll, what was the most popular pancake topping?
Ooh.
James?
Is it sugar and lemon?
I'm going to give you it. It's just
Thanks.
lemon juice.
Ah,
Oh,
lemon juice, yeah.
good. Good.
Fair enough.
Question 12. What is traditionally performed when a pancake has finished cooking on one side? Gareth?
It gets flipped.
It does.
I even did the action at home. Yeah.
I thought I saw you.
Yeah.
Question 13. True or false? You can cook pancakes in the game Overcooked. Gareth again.
False.
It's true.
True.
I can't give that one over, I'm afraid. It's...
Oh, I thought it was a trick. I thought it was a trick question.
Question 14. What does IHOP stand for? The name of the American national restaurant chain. And I'll give you a clue. The P stands for pancakes.
Is it the International Home of Pancakes?
Yeah, International House of Pancakes.
Oh,
I'll
well
give that
done.
to you.
Well done, James.
Yes.
I haven't had any clue about that.
15 is an odd one out again. So you've got water, eggs, flour, butter, or milk.
Cool.
James.
Is it butter?
It is, well done.
Well done, James. I was going to say
And
eggs.
do you know why?
Is it ingredients for a pancake?
It is. There you go. Butter's not needed.
He's killed me on this one.
Question 16. What is the Christian name for what we call Pancake Day?
Cool.
James.
Shrove Tuesday.
Well done.
He's a big
yeah.
he's a big pancake fan.
Clearly.
I can't compete with this kind of skill.
Question 17 is one where I need you to both answer, and we'll
Okay.
we'll give a point to whoever gets closest. So, how big was the world's largest pancake in meters?
James, you go first.
In diameter,
Yeah.
in meters, 16.
I'm going to go for 5.
There you go, though.
The largest pancake done in Rochdale in 1994
Yeah.
was 15.1 meters.
Oh, James, you're so close as well. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Well done. I was thinking to myself, that can't be. That's mad size. Like, yeah, amazing. Well done, Rochdale.
They had to prove it was a pancake. They had to actually flip it as well. And
Brilliant.
there's a picture of 2 cranes holding it up because I think it weighed like 3 tons as well.
Wow. I like that.
So there you go. This is how I've spent the past week. I am pancake guru now. Question 18 this is an either or. So it's like a 50-50
Yeah.
again. Was the world record for completing a marathon whilst flipping a pancake completed in over or under 4 hours?
Whew.
James?
Over.
It was under 4 hours.
Doesn't matter. Gareth didn't get the point.
I like it.
Tactics.
I like that tactic.
Yeah.
It's the same again for this one then, James. So Gareth, you might want to be quick.
Yeah.
Is the world record for highest pancake flip over or under 10 meters? Gareth?
Over.
It's under.
Hey.
Damn.
Interestingly, both those records are completed by the same guy who is called Mike Kuzakorea.
Well, got too much time in his hands.
Yes. Yeah, he loves
Too much flour.
loves that guy. And then finally, question 20. True or false, you can cook pancakes in Final Fantasy 15.
Whew.
James?
False.
It is false.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I got annihilated then. I think the pancakes killed me.
About time.
I'll just quickly tot these up.
It's not worth it.
We'll have to get you back at Easter, Richard.
Yeah.
To do the...
He's back next week. We're expecting another quiz.
What is it next week? Find me a weird celebration and I'll do it.
Okay.
James got 10.
Well done, James.
Gareth got 4.
4. Well done,
a
James.
generous 4.
Generous 4. I didn't get any pancake ones right. Well done. I like that a lot, Richard. Thank you so much. Very good. Now, before we go, because we've got to go, is what we're looking forward to next week, James?
I'm looking forward to checking out 2 Point Hospital.
Good.
See if it lives up to the hype.
And that's out next week, isn't it? Next
Tuesday on Game Pass.
Great. Brilliant. Good. Richard, what are you looking forward to?
On Monday, I'm going to see a rival podcast being performed live. Atletico Mince. I don't know if you guys have listened to it.
I've not listened to it, but I know it's Bob Mortimer, isn't it? And,
yeah, it's Bob Mortimer
great.
and Andrew Dawson.
Okay.
And they're doing it in Leeds, so I'm very much looking forward to that.
Great.
And then also on Game Pass, I wasn't going to mention until James brought it up, but Yakuza 0 is out finally on Xbox.
And that's next week as well, next Wednesday, is it?
Next Wednesday.
Okay.
In my calendar.
We'll all be giving that a go. James will as well.
Yeah, this is Jim Smith new to play.
Yeah. Good.
I've been pretty cracking.
Yes, good. And I'm looking forward to Better Call Saul. The new season's out next week. So that'd be very good. I think next Friday. But yeah. That's it. Right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you next week. And see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.TheXboxHub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.